music.
Let's go.
So you want to fade out?
Yeah.
I'll tell you when to fade out a little bit. Welcome to Excellent is an Understatement podcast today. Here with Jeff, and I got my two homies with me. I got Mimi Baby, and I got B-Shack in the house, Coach B-Shack. Today we're just trying to elaborate to you guys how to help others. I messed up already. Anyway, we're going to keep it on
It's okay. Like,
anyway, listen, I'm trying to be all perfect with it. But anyway, my two good friends here today, Mimi Baby and B-Shack. How you guys feeling today?
Hey, we're
what's
good.
I'm good, man. I'm good, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? We over here, Marietta, Georgia, got our first podcast episode going on. So you know, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What about you, Mimi?
I am doing excellent today. Like, I feel good. You know, today's gonna be a great day.
nah, excellent is an understatement. You
Hey!
know what I mean? Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So, as you know, we always trying to start the day with a quote. Today, Coach B-Shack will provide us with that quote. Coach B-Shack.
So, quote is, at the end of the day, somebody's always going through more than you, but at the same time, you're doing more. We're going to reflect on that later.
Yes, you don't get all the recipe at one shot. You got to wait for the rest. Topic.
Okay. So, let's just get off into it. So, y'all know the holidays is coming up.
The holidays, yes.
Yeah, so we got Christmas coming up. You got New Year's. So, I wanted to know, like, what's some health tips that y'all can give the people to stay fit for the holidays?
Stay out of the kitchen.
What?
No. Go ahead, be cool. Go ahead.
I've been getting fluffy. Come on, man.
Not
Look,
fluffy.
It's bulking season. Man. Look, I'm gonna have to come January, February. I'm gonna have to do like a 20, 30 pound cut. No, I'm kidding. Nah, but I'm eating fairly, clean. I'll pig out, but my body's like so used to like serving sizes. Just because of what I've been doing, it's hard for me to pig out actually, which is a little bit depressing, watching everybody else. But it's all good.
So how was you on Thanksgiving then?
Oh, Thanksgiving. So hold up, I'm in Hartsville, South Carolina, deep South. All
Okay.
right. We went there because one of my uncles had like 2 strokes, so we went out there. Mad family came. It was like a reunion type deal. Mm-hmm. And they had first of all, candy yams with marshmallows, my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Candy yams. What y'all know about that?
You gotta stay away from that.
Candy yams with marshmallows. But nah, everybody was going to like 2, 3, 4, 5 plates. I'm sitting there like
2, 3,
I got like maybe a little bit left on my first plate.
Oh, wow.
I felt like
Like you let somebody down?
Like I lost some like points. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So like some family points.
So I mean, you around family. So
Yeah.
your family don't follow a structured diet like you do.
No.
So obviously they will kind of push you to eat. Like, hey, eat this or try this and that. Mm-hmm. How do you say no, mom, or no, grandma? I can't. I'm on a structured diet, without them smacking you in the tongue or something like that.
All right, let me tell you something, okay?
Because my grandma can't understand anything. I'm like, oh, I can't try this, girl. Shut up, boy.
Right.
Well, I'll put it like this. Let's put it like this. Being a fitness coach, right, in my position, it's like, okay, it's like this. Bruh. For one, everybody looks to you to say something about the plate and about how they eat. So, but me in my mind, I'm going to mine. My uncle has some strokes. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk to him. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna get him healthy, get him kicking. Dad over here, like, Now look, son, we're going over here, to see our uncles, my uncle and everything. I don't want you to be trying to tell everybody how to. I'm like, yo, like, stop.
Like, you one plate away from a stroke, man.
So just know, being a fitness coach in a Thanksgiving or any type of family food environment is like, nah, like, you have family on one end looking at you like, don't say nothing to me, and you got other family interrogating you about, what they should and shouldn't eat.
So in a situation like that, what 2 tips would you actually give your listeners? Like,
my bad, the tip.
Right.
My bad, the tip.
You get carried away.
Yeah, what tip, man? Okay, here's a good tip, man. I would tell you. Say you have a goal, right? You're trying to stay on it. You want to have your macronutrients. Now, you might need to do a little bit of research on this to understand what they are. The macronutrients are your calories, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. If you could find your body's requirements to either gain weight or lose weight or whatever you're trying to do, and stick to that, you can portion out whatever food you want to eat correctly in those constraints. You know what I mean? But look that up, macronutrients.
Right.
Look that up in Google, do your research, and you'll understand that you can eat kind of how you want, but within constraints. And so,
yeah, that would be my advice. Like, just be careful about what you eat, first of all. But if you are gonna like indulge, like, don't pile a lot of stuff up. You gonna feel horrible afterwards. Just do a little.
Yeah, you don't pass out on the table. My take on it, I guess I see things from a different perspective. I would say if you already do follow a structured diet, it's okay on the holidays to go ahead and kind of indulge. Because, your body, it's not something you do daily, so your body will need that little break, and some of you guys might hit a plateau. You might need that excess food to kind of like bring your metabolism back to spinning. So I would say, go ahead and indulge. Remember what the goal is, after you do so, that you got to get back on track. A day or two won't hurt, but if it's something that you do every day, you just might want to structure that. So my take on it is drink a lot of water, for one. Keep the mindset that even if you eat something that's out of your diet, it's not going to be the end of the day, or it's not going to ruin your whole year of workout that you've done. And enjoy your time with your family, because that's probably the most important thing, being around family. And the food is just another thing, so have some fun, everything else is just everything else. Just have some fun with family, because that's the most important. That's my take on it.
And just so y'all can not be sitting here looking at who does this guy think he is to give me fitness advice. Again, my name is Brandon Mayshak, health and fitness coach of Get Gains Get Gone.
You feel me? He had to put that in there.
Online coaching and fitness. No, but really though, the people got to know us. You know what I'm saying? They got to know who we are a little bit. So that's what I do. I'm a health and fitness coach. Amongst some other professions that I don't see. And so that's, advice that I give to my clients as well. Macronutrients, and also knowing your blood type too is important.
You actually helped me out with that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so Okay, first of all, I met Brandon a long time ago. Actually at Anytime Fitness, I was going in trying to get a little membership,
Okay.
So he helped me
Expensive
out. Right.
First of all, I have to cut you. How is it that most places you sign a month-to-month membership, but at Planet Anytime Fitness,
he tried.
You gotta pay. You gotta sign. It's a contract. I think it's like a 6-month or a year contract.
A year or 2 years.
Yeah. So it's like getting a house or apartment. That was kind of weird to me. But I'm sorry.
I feel you. Memberships be, I understand that. But
hey, if you got it, do it. That's all I'm gonna say. But so I actually met him. He helped me out with a gym membership, but he was telling me about the macro and what was the macro and micro?
Macronutrients, calories, carbs, proteins, fats,
all of that,
and blood type. Eating right for your blood type.
Yeah. So actually, I took some of that information he gave me. I don't want him to think that I just threw it out the window.
You find out I'm helping somebody.
So, I actually went to the doctors, found out that my blood type is, I think it's the O positive. So I was finding different foods that's good for my blood. I actually lost about 10 pounds.
You gotta cut out. The most important thing is cutting out what's bad for your blood, though.
Yeah, that was kind of hard. Because one of the things that was telling me that was bad was like wheat. And I actually kind of...
Wheat bloats blood types. Crazy.
Yeah.
I also would know that though because I'm a B blood type, but my mom's an O. And as a kid, I experienced O blood type genetics. But that's another conversation. Like we'll start.
We gotta get into that,
See,
but
we'll talk about it later.
it works.
Yeah.
Like I came up with a whole meal plan based off of foods that are good for my blood type, and I lost about 10 pounds in 7 days. So
Wow,
it works.
And that's how me and me know it.
Slim
You
Fast, Jenny Craig,
Nah,
all
I
those
wouldn't
stuff
trust-
don't make sense.
I wouldn't trust
But
that.
no, honestly,
And Jeff is like, come on, Jeff. Tell
I'm
me what you do.
I'm just a little guy.
Man, look at this.
All right.
Gorilla, look at the couch lean, man. Like, bro.
All right.
Nah, but
I'm a bodybuilder. I don't do too much coaching simply for I like to focus on what I'm doing. So so I don't do too much. At least right now, I don't do too much coaching. But I'm more than happy to give advice and give help when it's needed. But I've been doing it for a little while. I'm into my first show. I got another show potentially next year.
hey,
Trying to get that pro card, but that's nothing major. It's just something,
major.
just something that
It's
I do.
just slight work.
It's slight work, But besides that, I mean, the whole tip from this whole health aspect that what we were just talking about is that all of us are different in some ways. So trying to find out what's good for your body, find out your blood type, find out how much calories you need to take in, and just find out these things. So it's so important to being to longevity, to feeling better, waking up and not feeling like all tired throughout the day, losing weight, getting that excess fat off. There's so much that goes along with that. Mental health, so much. So
I think that's a perfect segue into why we started this podcast.
yeah.
boom. Actually, who wants to tell
Excellence
why?
is an understatement. All right, y'all. Yeah, that's it. That roll off the tongue
He
nice.
It
did the
does.
arm like a Power Ranger. Everything.
Right.
God damn.
So, do you want to just tell them why we started this? Why is it so important?
Well, I want Jeff to expound on that more, but I'm gonna say this, right? We just came up with the name.
And he's
10
super
minutes
excited
ago.
about it.
I came up, look, I was up at 5 a.m. today. Had a little ganja. You know what I'm saying? And I was just typing down mad.
Man, it took us an hour to figure out the name.
but when everybody came, we went through everything, and they did some voting, some vigorous voting.
Yeah, it was
Jumped out
hard.
some really good names, but y'all might catch some of them later on in something.
Boom.
Right.
But yeah, Jeff.
So mental health in the Black community. Wow, it's so bad. The amount of people that I've encountered that's just dealing with mental health issues. It's a disaster. Currently, I have somebody close to me that's dealing with that. My little sister. I'm not gonna say her name. She might kill me. She's dealing with that depression. She's dealing with a lot of trying to figure out who she is and so many things, and it's destroying her her outside picture. So when we see somebody in our community, what we see is just their external part. We don't see what's going on inside, and a lot of us Black people, for sure, Black men, we put all this depression, everything on the back burner because we're taught to kind of be strong through everything. And sometimes, you need to vent, and all that stuff piles up, and it creates so much of a disaster inside of you, and your mind is just running on 250 miles per hour, and you don't know how to stop it. So it creates really somewhat of an imbalance in that person's life. So we're trying to find ways to kind of help, people out there that's going through this issue. some type of solution to helping them out, because I know, like me personally, I'm very active in my sister's life. I try to give help as much as I can, and she's been doing a lot better, and I would like to see the world, the whole black community, the whole black race, to be able to kind of maintain and have that longevity in life. So that's pretty much why we really started this thing, because mental health is such a detrimental case in our society that we can't kind of overlook it. We have to really kind of zero in and kind of point out the facts.
Right.
Yeah, and in really health in general, not just mental health, but we want to also touch a lot on physical health. Maybe even spiritual health in some cases. Really, everything that we're dealing with as a community. To be real, we're gonna talk about all of it, and at the same time, shed light on the excellence that's going on in our community. Because excellence is an understatement. So we're just gonna be talking to y'all, chopping it up. Nice, comfortable environment, giving y'all some positivity, shine a light on good things. I know she has a lot of things she's gonna shed light on. Take it away.
All right.
Share
so
with
listen. One of the things that I cannot stand.
Oh, we starting.
We starting off like this.
Let me make my move.
Alright, so look. I cannot stand, I won't say hey, I cannot stand this phrase. New year, new me.
Oh my gosh. God. New Year's resolution.
Can't stand it.
I hear that every week. New week, new me. That's right.
I just feel like, why are we waiting till the new year to change something that we don't like? If you if I be like, you know what, I don't like something that I'm doing, with like my eating habits. I'm not about to wait till January 1st to change it. Make that change now.
Tomorrow not promised.
Boom.
You know what? I think people do that because they don't believe that they can actually go through the situation and go through that step and make it. People doubt themselves a lot. So when you doubt yourself, it's hard to invest 100% in. You always want to give yourself time, but time waits for no one. Mm-hmm. So you're either gonna do it or you're not. But it goes to like, do you believe in what you're trying to do? If I say I want to lose 30 pounds in the next few months, am I going to put the time to do it, believing that I can do it? Or am I going to be like, I'll start next month, or I'm always going to keep pushing it back.
Yeah.
And that is associated with mental health too, your mindset.
Right.
You have to understand the mind is a muscle. Mm-hmm. So if you physically working out your body for your muscles to grow, you got to work out your mind.
Your mind don't want to do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Get it right.
But it's all about discipline, though. Like if you work on discipline, you can do anything.
Will Smith, when Will Smith, I remember when Will Smith first made his Instagram account, and he was like dropping like mad inspirational videos. Yeah. And the most important phrase he said, one that I take to heart, is self-love. You can't have self-love without self-discipline. Because if you truly love yourself, you're going to discipline yourself. So to where you can be the best you can be. So, when we talk about self-love, if you don't have self-discipline, you don't have as much self-love as you think you might have. You know what I mean? So, what y'all think about that?
I agree with that one. Because seriously, it's a lot of people who say they love themselves, but there's nothing that they're doing for themselves that are healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to kind of like peel layers back. So I think of it like a banana. That's not a joke. If you throw something at me, I'm not just gonna look at the skin. I like to peel back and see like the inside layer of it. So self-love. What constitutes to self-love? What is self-love? What constitutes to it?
Well, I think it's always an action. Love is an action. So if I'm talking about self-discipline equals self-love, well, yeah, me, even though the rest of the family's pigging out at the table, because I have a certain level of self-love and self-discipline that I achieve, yeah, I'm not going to pig out like everybody
Right. So
else.
technically, you
so
cannot.
that's an act of self-love.
Well, so technically, you if you're not disciplined enough, you can't really experience self-love because you have to discipline yourself in certain areas for you to really experience self-love. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's true.
Right, exactly.
It takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time.
You know, that's my whole take on it. But it's a very powerful saying, and it's true, very true.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you a question. How do you think somebody can work on disciplining themselves?
So discipline in what area are we
Like,
talking about specifically?
if someone says, you know what, I really want to work on myself. I want to love myself more, but I need to discipline myself on...
Me?
Brandon?
No. So
I don't Brandon.
Right.
no. Well, y'all was looking at me when you asked anyway. So, no. Anybody else want to answer first? I might.
Go ahead. I asked.
Okay, cool. So all right. I have a ritual. Okay, and I created this ritual because I used to teach art at the Boys and Girls Club. And it was the most stressful thing I ever experienced. Even though I love it, but going back to the Boys and Girls Club that I got kicked out as a little kid and teaching, was, it was a great fulfilling experience, but very stressful to the point to where I would have freeze moments. You know what I'm saying? When I was with my last roommate, Jemai, he would be at work at Anytime Fitness with me, and I'll be on the computer and he'll just see me freeze, I wouldn't be able to think, whatever, because I'm just stressing out about planning all this stuff. So here's what I did. I realized, you know what? If I'm going to pour into these kids the way I want to, I got to pour into myself more. And so I created a ritual where I'm working on all three aspects of health: spiritual, mental, physical, in that order. Spirit, soul, or mind, and body. So I start my days with the devotional, work on my spirit, go into prayer and meditation, literally pray, sit, and breathe for 10 to 5 minutes or whatever. And then I get my workout in, maybe after a client or immediately after or whatever. And so I start my Monday through Fridays like that. And that puts me just in the most optimal mindset, the most disciplined mindset, as well as when you're working on your mind and meditating, it gives you... that is a key opportunity to actually really mold your mind. I'll focus on certain concepts like, procrastination, or, I'll focus on certain things like, my anger or balance, or, qualities that I want to improve and qualities I want to, get rid of. So, and meditating, really meditating is where the work really happened in my mind and discipline. But of course, working on the spirit before that and then the body afterwards. It's just like you're doing everything you need to really pour into yourself. So that's how I really achieve an amount of discipline that I have.
I actually, it's crazy because we kind of do something a little similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I went through a really rough patch. So when I overcame that, I was like, you know what? I want to work on myself. So I had to literally sit down. I made a list, and I was like, this is the stuff that I want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I used to wake up every morning and be like, you know what? You're going to be great one day. And I wrote down a list. I actually tried to work on it. Boom. You want to get closer to God. All right, let's try reading the Bible. Let's try praying more. It's about taking those steps to, it can be routine, but taking those small steps, it really can help towards disciplining yourself.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Mimi and B-Shack. You gotta be in a position where you want change. If you're very content in what you do in your daily life or with what you have, you okay with that? That's where you're gonna be at. Let's be honest. But if you want change, if you're hungry for more, which is change, then you're gonna find solutions, or you're gonna go out your way to to learn more or do other things to kind of like kind of expand your knowledge, expand yourself. So you start to absorb more. You turn into a sponge. You start to absorb until you're able to maintain and keep growing. I don't think anybody, even the richest person in the world, would tell you, like, I think Bill Gates. I mean, the guy is filthy rich. He's. I mean, he got everything, but every day he wake up at the same time, pick up a whole lot of books that he don't even really care for, that has nothing to do with anything, but and just read them. Every day he does that. So it's like it's a to change is a continuous growing process, but to grow you have to take that step. So if you say, like, if you wake up today, you're like, man, I'm tired of the way my life is. I'm tired of doing this, working a 9 to 5, not making enough money, or not being knowledgeable in certain areas, stuff like that. You can make that change. It is all a mindset. The minute you decide that, hey, I'm gonna make that change, your mind, I guarantee you, will find ways to help you around it. To help you. You're gonna start remembering things that you probably saw on the billboard that caught your attention. That's gonna help you grow. So you gotta want to change. Your back gotta at least be against the wall. That's just my take on it.
No, yeah, just you just shed light on a situation. Looking at current events as far as today, looking at in our community, one of the most popular hip hop artists, young artist, rapper Juice WRLD, dead at 21, and it's from a seizure and stuff. But that if you definitely listen to his music or his interviews, he indulges in drugs here and there. I don't know if he ever got off of it, but those came from health complications that came from mental problems that he openly expresses all the time. So you, even when you're doing great things, you have to still work on yourself behind the scenes, to make sure you keep going, and, so you need as less vices as possible.
Yeah. And I would like to say this, and I'm sorry, I made that interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, that's just sad that we lost somebody so young.
Man.
Well, we've lost so many people, and rest in peace to that young man.
Yeah, man.
We've lost so many people, high, well-known individuals to drugs and mental issues, like especially in the Black community. A lot of that is residues from what we've experienced in the past. It's things are just being passed from generation to generation, and there's no solution, in between that time. So everything is just being put together, just accumulating and then being passed down to the next person.
Yeah.
So it's creating more and more of a burden on the next generation. Like look at our generation now. You know what I'm saying? Like look at our generation now. Like,
man, listen.
You know what I'm saying? Like all young brothers in the streets. The mind is so powerful, but yet out there in the streets, not trying to make a difference, but they think that the best way to do it is by selling or doing this. Nothing against them, whatever. Get your money how you want, but at the end of the day, is this the right way?
Let me bring up just to be devil's advocate, right? I've been listening to a lot of Killer Mike lately. Killer Mike and T.I., those are two big, powerful staples in Atlanta, driving the Black community, politics, all of that good stuff, health, everything. And Killer Mike, he has a really a different kind of outlook. Now, this isn't the outlook I'm necessarily claiming, but he has an outlook on the people who are looked down upon in the community, right? The drug dealers, the strippers, or whatever. In his mind, he's like, yo, look, bring all these people into the fold, because these people have still mastered an area of hustling where a lot of other people working their 9 to 5s don't have the type of work ethic or even knowledge or even discipline that they had. You know what I mean? Like even the drug dealers or strippers and whatever necessarily, if you were to say, if you were to take him under your wing or if you were to talk to him, basically his thing is, even taking those people, finding what skills they have, and giving them something positive to do. You know what I mean? Instead of necessarily focusing so much on like one thing I'll say is the black community is getting better. You know what I'm saying? Like black women are entrepreneurs, the number one entrepreneurs, and black men need to catch up. You know,
we'll never catch up because women is always 10 steps ahead of us. But go ahead.
Oh, look at him! That was for his wife. That was for his wife. Anyways,
I'm saying.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, look.
That was definitely for his wife.
I'm just saying.
That was my train of thought. But the woman, but the men gotta catch up. You know what I'm saying? See, look, you made me lose my train of thought.
You know I'm right.
What was I saying, man?
Right.
But anyways, and that was just the thought, right? So we're coming up, right, and where things are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more people are becoming educated in things. So basically, it's at a point where like we can't necessarily expect for there to be no drug dealers and no strippers, no whatever. But what it is don't necessarily ostracize them, which they already feel alienated probably with what they do. But he was like, find those people like as whatever leadership position you have, and give them something that takes whatever skills they're already using and whatever illegal activity they're doing, and something positive. So like, I don't know, that was a very interesting thing, especially because I think of it because even if I look at it from a biblical standpoint, right? That's what Jesus did. Shoot, you know what I mean? Like he went and found like the
people
thieves and whatever, and turned them into something positive.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. My thought and my mindset of looking at those people is changing a little bit with how I go. I don't know. What do you think about that though? That type of mindset.
I actually agree with that. I really just agree with that. I really ain't got much to say on that one though. But
yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah, man.
But it makes sense though, because like they already have those qualities. Because like I don't need to have a degree and everything to know that I have such and such qualities. Mm-hmm. So it does make sense. Like if this person, you need a money manager, hey,
go find you the plug, man. Go find Skip around the corner, man.
You know what?
No, let me stop.
Multitasker.
But it's just a dope viewpoint, because what it is, it's a viewpoint that includes all of the community from the top to the bottom, and it's just a way of like, if we're going to advance as a community, we can't ostracize like people like anymore, even if they're doing what because at the end of the day, at some point, we necessarily maybe probably have dived into that. We've gone to a strip club. You hit the plug up maybe if you do that, you know what I mean? I do, so it's like, I don't know. It's like you gotta have a different way of thinking on it. But I mean,
so if that was gonna actually happen, we have to start from within first. So we have to do it ourselves first for other races to see that, other people to see like, hey, give them a chance.
Yeah. Of course, right. I don't know. It's like something simple, right? My boy Nigel, he comes over every now and then. We kick it. We went to high school together. He used to, he used to bang, back in the day, but he doesn't anymore, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I was able to do with me being in Cobb Mentoring Matters, and he's always been a very, people looked up to him, like a leadership position, like he kind of was that dude, like with a real wise tone to him, even though he did his thing. But as a grown-up now, he really wants to pour back into kids and really, do that. So he's able to take those same qualities that he did to, to manage his foot soldiers or whatever, and bring those to kids as a mature man who's now, throwing that stuff to the wayside. So,
that's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Shout outs to Nigel.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't want to beat this dead.
With that being said,
That's our bell.
I think it's a time where we play a little game called Word of the Day. Each one of us got to provide a word and probably just like use it in a sense or just give a meaning to it. So, Mimi, you first.
What? Alright. I didn't even think of a word. I don't know. I can't pass this one.
You said you just use a word in a sentence?
Or just pick a word. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's a word.
You know what? I don't know.
Oh God,
We gotta educate.
Oh God, we're pulling up Google.
Yep. Let's see.
They said
Brandon, what you got?
They said I move in excellence, but I said that that's an understatement.
All right, Brandon, you go first.
This guy.
You know, I'm just gonna beat our name like a dead horse, yo. Excellence is my word. They said I move in excellence, but I say that that's an understatement. Just put a corn emoji over my head. We're gonna edit that into the video. A corn on the cob emoji.
Or it could be a fun fact that we don't know about. A fun fact.
Fun
fact, yeah.
Or you know, okay, fun fact. Okay, men's health portion. That's what this is. Fun fact, maybe I guess, right? Fun fact. You need to get your prostate checked by the. Don't let that pass. Do that by 40, probably.
Because 35.
35? 35? Yeah. Do that by 35. Do it. And I put that as a sense of urgency because, you know, it's not something I think about, you know, mostly because I haven't really reached that age. But I know it's something that a lot of men, they like to, you know, not think about or try to avoid as they approach that age. I was watching Will Smith post a YouTube video about with him getting his prostate, I think his prostate checked, and there's a colon and such. And as healthy as a guy he is, they found, you know, precancerous, you know, tumors and such.
Wow.
And so it's a situation of where it could turn into something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, wow, shoot, and like he taking out the camera recording this just because he wants to be fun and show people whatever, and then it turned out to be a little heavier than he thought. You know what I'm saying? By the end of the video, so.
But you know, I'm glad you made that because I actually wanted to talk about, you know, like guys really don't go to the doctor as much. Yeah. Are y'all guilty of that?
I just went to the doctor's.
Okay.
Like 2 weeks ago.
I can't remember the last time I've been to the doctor, yeah.
Did your mom take you?
No, stop. Y'all she was trying me, bro. Alright, so anyways, okay, here's my thing, right? I do need to go to the doctor.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I need to go. There's no getting around it. I've been dealing more with chiropractors. Like, say I got into an accident, I went to chiropractor a little bit. You know, physical therapy. But no, I haven't like
an actual checkup.
Doctor.
It's.
No, here's the thing. I be feeling like I know more than the doctor.
No, you don't.
Whoa. Oh, wait, not necessarily about like my blood work and whatever they can use machines to look at inside me, but about health and fitness in general. If I'm helping your patients more than you are, then I know more than you. So I guess for me,
so wrong.
Whoa. Yo, actually, no. I actually choose to die on that hill and double down on that statement.
Man, that's wrong.
Like for real. Okay, so I'm not throwing out doctors' education, right? But you know, if you just do a quick Google search and understand that America is the most uneducated country in the whole United States. I'm not telling people to not go to the doctor. I'm telling you my mindset and why I probably have it, right?
Listen, you're going to hate me after this.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead. I do need to go to the doctor. I do need to. But I probably haven't because I've been busy and I haven't been thinking about that I need to. But, you know, look, like, I don't know. I've just put myself in the most healthy possible way I possibly could. But I do need to go to the doctor.
Okay, so why don't you, like...
I just haven't gotten around to it.
I wouldn't say necessarily, like, interview them, but just, like, you gotta find that right doctor because you have to go. You have to get checked out.
I know.
You know, it's crazy because like one of my friends was telling me like guys do not go to the doctor unless a girl like texts some scary stuff. You know,
I need to find a doctor that knows more than me. Like, no,
Boom.
seriously, because that's really just how I feel about the situation. Like, if I'm helping people more than you are, then your
That's a
education,
problem.
like, then no.
But here's the thing, Brendan. You have to specify. You said okay, so we talking about like doctors that have a different focus, that they went to school for a specific type of focus.
Okay.
If you focusing on health and fitness, that's fine. That's not what their main focus is.
Right.
You know, it could be a different. You know, you so some a neurosurgeon, for example.
Is she? Are we talking about routine checkup doctor?
Routine checkup.
That's what
like,
we're talking about.
Okay,
You know,
and so
physical.
I'm talking about those in particular. I be feeling like I know more than those. Not necessarily the gynecologist or the prostate doctor, or
Gotcha.
like not the specialized doctor, whatever they're specialized in, but just like to go get a checkup and for you to tell me what my blood levels might be, my cholesterol. The last 2 doctor's visits I went to with me starting my look at the show, and they told me, you know, I'm the most healthiest thing, and I mean, there's literally nothing negative I get back. So
Okay.
me personally, I guess I feel in my mind, if I've kept up these habits and actually have even better habits than I have then, what am I worrying about? But of course, you never know.
But
At
yeah,
least
you
a
can't-
year.
you can't
Every
say
year,
that.
go to a doctor.
Because shit
at
just
least once.
happens.
It does.
It
You
does.
never know.
Out of your control.
Exactly.
Certain
You never
things out of
know.
control, right? So I recently, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I recently just got into like getting checkup like on a routinely basis because it's so important. Us men, I have to say, that's the last thing on our mind. Yeah. We just want to know that we don't got shit.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, we just want to know that we ain't got shit. Everything else is everything else. We just want to know we ain't got shit. As long as like you ain't got shit, yeah, we good.
Yeah.
But no, it's way more than that. Way more than that. So it is as you get older, you have to start factoring in, you know, like, do you want to live for a longer period of time?
Yeah.
You know, do you want to have this quality time with your wife or with your future kids? So, you know, you gotta kind of stay up. You know, it's better to know than not to know, right? So I recommend like every guy just routinely getting a checkup because women do it all the time. You know, and what happened, we know there's a lot of filth that goes on out here, right? A lot. You know, and I'm guilty to some. You know, I mean, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying?
Before
So
I understand. I do get checkups. I've been to clinics and all that.
3 years
you know what I'm
ago.
saying? Let's not start no crazy narrative out here.
They gonna be like, dang, Brandon.
it was you. We didn't say that.
Right.
Wait a minute. Yes, I'm talking about physicals. I have not been to physicals, and I need to
Okay.
do that.
So in our black community, in our black race, you know, we need black men. We need to get on top of this. We need to get a checkup. We need to make sure, like, you know, people that we're dealing with, whatever you do, that you're doing it in a safe way. There's so much going on out here. The last thing you want to do is throw your life away over a one night. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. So get yourself checked. You know,
And we in
same thing for
Atlanta,
women.
y'all.
And we in Atlanta, and same thing for
Most
women.
moved to state for the last.
I'm not gonna listen. It's same thing for women. You know, a lot of women, I think they dedicate themselves to a man, right? And the man don't fully invest. And I've been there.
Seen it.
And the man is just out there, just ramming through anything and everything, and bringing that back home. It's not fair to the lady. It's not fair to you. We talked about self-love. Self-love is really taking care of yourself. You know, discipline. You know, knowing what's wrong and what's right. So you can't destroy your home. So you know, you have to make sure you stay on top of your shit. Some younger people might not understand it. They might be like, I don't care about it. But as you
They
do
will
get
when
older,
they,
as you do get older, I have a friend of mine. He's a doctor, and he tell me that Saturday mornings, including Sunday mornings, the amount of women they have that come to their office for a checkup is ridiculous. And these are young, beautiful women, young and beautiful. I'm talking about like the girls that, you know, you go out there, you see like, God damn, you know, them, a lot of them. And it's so sad to see that. It's so sad to see that. It's scary. It's a scary thing. So in our culture, you know, we love certain things. We admire, you know, everything, but we need to take steps, you know, to make sure that we're going about it the right way. Better be safe than sorry.
matter of fact, go get checked, you know, before a relationship, during a relationship, after a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's if you can't go every 6 months to go get a physical, at least go every year. Just really go get checked.
Yeah.
There is a lot of places, like even if you don't have insurance, they have a thing called a sliding fee scale. So what you do is you bring your pay stubs, and you take it to these clinics, and they'll actually give you a way cheaper price for, you know, these procedures. Sometimes you can even based off your income. Sometimes you can literally pay nothing. I know the Georgia Department of Health on Cobb County Services, they have a center for Black women's wellness. They also have a clinic there for men. It's not just Black women, but you can go there for men. You know, you can get a lot of stuff done for free or, you know, little to nothing. So it's really no excuse.
At all. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that.
I'm gonna call for you, Brendan, tomorrow.
Accountability partners.
Accountability. Also,
I need to make an appointment for my
Like,
friend.
yeah. You know, and please, guys, listen.
Go get prick beat like don't.
Listen, if you're not ready to have a little one running around, please wrap it up. Or, you know, plus this is Atlanta. It's sad to say that this is very high in HIV, STDs, all this. So wrap it up.
And let me do this. I feel like I need to do this just because, you know, I'm an Atlanta native, and most people that moved here like to try to talk junk about Atlanta, why they moved here, right?
Oh.
Look. People talk about certain statistics about like, oh yeah, you know, this rate is up and the crime rate is, all y'all been moving here since like 1990. You know what I mean? So it's just a situation.
You feel some type of way? I feel like what was it? What's the saying? I grew here, y'all flew here.
So think about it, I am having a moment, right? For real, I have conversations.
If you ask me, Atlanta, I.
Right. I didn't ask to be here. My mama brought me here.
I just want people to critically think like, wow, they try to roast Atlanta about certain things and statistics. If we've been the most moved to state for forever, of course the statistics here is going to be higher than everything else. But yeah, even so, you know, just be aware of that, you know, everything that they just said. And don't move here and try my city.
Wow.
We already packed, man.
Wow.
Oh, you know what?
If any of y'all have a problem, Brandon Bishak is his name. I have nothing to do with this. I'm playing. But no, but yeah, I mean, there's people always gonna have something to say.
I know. I just like to. That's just pride. I just had to get that pride off my chest.
Yeah. All right, so look. I got a question.
What's up? What's the question?
I'm pretty sure y'all know about these the male birth control shots.
Nope.
You ain't gonna go get your depo.
No, birth control.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he just got small. He just gained like 10 pounds of pump. He said male birth control.
What?
You know what? So I actually had a debate with a couple of people about this, and I'm a little concerned. Like, leaving birth control up to men. Like, I'm sorry, guys don't. There's a lot of guys out here that don't already want to use condoms, but so they're saying there's gonna be a new birth control out for males.
It's a pill.
It's a pill. I think they're trying to do
once-a-month birth control pill.
Yeah. So these guys are about to be in control of taking birth control. And I don't think I'm actually okay with leaving that up to men. I'm just gonna be honest.
Leaving it. Oh, like you think we're irresponsible to take birth control? Okay, so this is reverse psychology, right? She's trying. No, I'm messing with you.
So no, it's just because I just have a feeling there's gonna be some guys out here that's gonna mess it up for the whole,
And get everybody pregnant.
Yeah, like, here's my paper. I took, I got my shot already. That baby not mine, or
So in other words, you're gonna see a renew of Jerry Springer.
Yep.
What's the other one? Maury.
I got my pill.
Wait, I'm not even gonna. You know what?
Are you thinking about what I'm thinking?
Think about it.
Stop. Y'all did this conversation has given you a different perspective though.
What?
For real. And when I first hear about male birth control, obviously I would never do it because I don't know what that is and that's safe. But I also would initially think, most men would not want to do male birth control. But if I'm thinking like if you've been a dude, right, in a situation, and I feel like a lot more guys are actually gonna buy into male birth control than you think, because they're gonna just want to be able to do what they want to do. Like,
but wait, I want to know how soon this thing works. So
India is supposed to be the first to offer it.
India?
They're going to be the first to offer it.
So from the last time I heard about it, they were saying it's a 75% effective right now. Scientists are still working on it.
Does it kill your soldiers or something? Like, what's up?
So I believe it just blocks that hormone.
A snake,
but that's weird.
I can't have a snake with no venom, man.
No.
What's the warnings on this thing? I mean, like, I feel like as you continue to use this, like on a monthly basis,
so they're still testing it. So I mean, it's not really out on the market right now, but it's the information's out there.
That's scary.
I do believe there's already test studies. Guys are taking this pill.
So there's also penis injection.
Hell.
No.
You
can't make me do it. Fight me. Like, stop. Stop.
I don't know. Like, I know they do have the pill and they do have the shot.
You know what? Yeah, bro.
So y'all opting out?
I'm opting out.
I'm good.
You know what? No sex till marriage. Here we go. That's what
I'm just saying. Like, it's so crazy because it's like the thought of male birth control, and this is what women do. We have the IUD, we have the Nexplanon, we have the ring. Like, it's so many birth control options that we have, and it's not.
So here's the thing with a guy, right? Like, you can't have a stick with no like what does that do? Like, does that kill just the seed? Like, I need to know what that, like, can you not, like,
it has to block the hormone, or I'm not quite sure. I have to do more research on that one.
My questions are too detailed for the podcast. Yeah. We'll just keep it at that.
You guys do your own research. Y'all do your own research.
Okay, so you know what? I want to hear from the audience too. Like, we're gonna open up to see if there is any males that's like, you know what?
I know they all gonna want to do it.
I'm tired of these women, man.
I know they all gonna do it. That ain't my kid.
I'm trying.
I popped 3 of those pills this month.
I can literally imagine a man be like, "Yo, that's not my child. I took my pill."
Oh, just throw your masculinity out the door at that point. And look, I took my pill.
That's not.
No, bro. Like, throw my man card away after I say that. I'm sorry. That's not it.
I'm sorry.
Maybe that's toxic masculinity, what I just said, but I'm sorry.
So the adverse effect on this is that we're gonna have a lot of
the population is already.
We're gonna have a lot of women, single mothers. That's gonna leave a lot of women with kids without a father,
Or dudes that think that they couldn't
Right.
have gotten
But you know what?
But DNA testing is still a thing, right?
It is. And
True.
then, you know what? I really commend, because, we had a really, really bad history with a lot of black men not raising kids. But I really feel like y'all came through. You feel me? Like, y'all are really coming through with taking care of your kids, stepping up. We don't have a lot of abandoned kids anymore.
Shout out to the fathers out there that's doing
Shout out
that.
to my dad out in Fort Lauderdale
Yeah,
doing the fatherhood event out in Fort Lauderdale. My dad is doing this event where he has a lot of panelists come out, a lot of neighborhood staples, from churches to politics to legislation, all these powerful, and they're putting a focus on fatherhood in the black community.
Shout out to the
I
dad.
like
a lot
that.
of black, man. Shout out to Baron Mayshak in Fort Lauderdale, 15th Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. So I'm proud of you, pops.
It's kind of crazy, man. Father's Day gifts kind of getting better out here too, man. I ain't getting macaroni necklaces no more.
Macaroni necklaces, man.
Dude get a T-shirt. That's it. But moms get
I
flowers,
want
candy.
this guy to have a kid so bad, bro. This dude. He needs to have a kid. Like, this dude has the most fatherly, demeanor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna be those type of dads that kind of spoil my kids and they'll get away with stuff with me. Their mom, I know their mom gonna be like, hell no. But with me, they're gonna come to me and they're just gonna get the automatic green light, and I'm afraid of that because they get bougie, they get crazy. Yeah, they get bougie, they get crazy. I'm gonna be a very jealous dad when it comes to my daughter because I'm buying a shotgun for every motherfucker.
From your wife, you're about to get a lot of all that muscle, and you can't teach that child.
And mama got to sit here and take all
What did Kevin Hart say? He came home and his wife was like, "You got to beat your son." He disrespected. He's like, "But what did he do?" Just whoop his ass. You gotta go have the conversation with your son. Your mom told me to whoop your ass.
It's either me or you.
I choose you.
Bro.
Oh, but you know what? It's kind of crazy because you kind of see this sometimes. It's like, when you have a daughter, dad's the fun pushover dad, and mom's the one who has to be strict. It's kind of crazy. Like, Rose little reverse.
Yeah, both my mom was the softie. My dad was more so. It really, honestly, I think they kind of treated each of us a little bit differently according to our personality. I was the wild one, so I got 2 to 3 whoopings a day. Deja, she was the middle one, so she got whoopings sometimes, and then the youngest one, she's never had a whooping in her whole entire life. So I don't know, my dad has always been about the whipping. My mom has definitely been about it. So
Think about that.
I got fire and brimstone parents, low.
Do you think that changed in the black community? Whippings?
You know what it is?
We have way more badass
This
kids.
is a good question because we're in a progressive era, quote unquote, and an era where I'ma just put it like this, yo. Don't nobody non-black need to be talking about how black people raise their families. Let's just put it like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just put it like that. I'm gonna just put it like that and I'm gonna down that hill. Now, with that being said, what was the question? No, but whippings, yo, whippings need to not, look. Spare the rod, yo, and come on, you gotta. It depends on your child. Me personally, if my parents did not whip me, I would have walked all over my parents. It would have really looked like a situation of me being one of the bad white kids in the mall, wilding out. That's what it would have been like. So I feel me fearing the belt did keep me in line here and there. And plus, I know my parents love me. It didn't make me fear them or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, I did maybe get a little bit over with in a sense to where it did add a little bit of aggression towards the end of my life. But, I mean, not the end of my life, but the end of, living with them.
let's backtrack to like history. Like, where did whippings come from?
Okay, slavery. I hear
All
that.
right.
No. In Africa, there hasn't been
seriously.
African tribes that did practice disciplinary action. There are some that
But where
did
did we
positive
learn?
speaking, and then
But in the books, in the stuff, what we know for a fact that
discipline,
discipline started with
whipping.
okay.
So this is something that
But you think that slavery was
they adopted it.
But
I kinda agree with that.
But do you think that there was, before the slave trade happened, you don't think there was any, out of the hundreds and maybe thousands of African cultures, you don't think there was any culture in any African tribe where that they practiced disciplining their kids through a whipping, spanking, or some type of physical thing?
I would say yes, and at the same time no.
There are some yes, some
no,
no.
because we have no records of it. That's one.
I think that you can easily research tribes that practice certain disciplinary. Yeah.
You know what? I want to look at that.
But okay, so disciplinary actions back in the day, right? Certain tribes, they had different ways of doing it. I know, like other tribes had like they will like prevent people from eating as a punishment. Some would like. I know my mom didn't whip me. I'm from Haiti. She used to make me stand outside in the sun for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Holding like 2 rocks.
Okay.
That was my punishment. Not a whooping, but there was different forms of punishment. The whipping, I feel like, came a little later on. And honestly, I'm sorry to bring this back up, but all of that ties into mental health.
It does.
It does.
Psychological.
But for some people and so for others, I really just think it depends on from person to person. Some people can handle whipping, some people can't.
No, those belts hurt. Listen,
I'm not retarded. I'm not, wild. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Like I got whipped a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think I turned out pretty decent. I just think if you have to determine as a parent, if you have a child that can process that. Like my youngest sister, she would not be able to process it. She would really feel heartbroken by her parents if she ever got a whooping. Like my youngest sister.
It depends, because okay, when I would get in trouble by my grandmother, she could just say she was disappointed in me, and I would like break down. Yeah. My dad was in the military. Like the most cruel thing he did to us was like gave us some safety scissors and told us to go cut through yard. Like out there for hours.
That's it, Dad?
Bro, I did that as a chore.
No, we lived on a hill.
Safety scissors.
Safety scissors, cut grass. We lived on a big house on a hill. We was out there. He told us, don't come inside unless you have to use the bathroom. We had to use the water hose for water.
Go straight to my friend's house.
What?
That's worse than a whooping, yo.
You told me.
You crying?
It's
in the hot summer.
I would have chose a whooping over that. Sometimes you get the
Seriously.
ultimatum. Do you want a whooping or
Have
do you got
like military parents have like the worst discipline between that and like I'm actually blessed to have both. My dad was in the military and my mom is part Jamaican, so punishments was horrible in the house. Like she'll make you stand in the corner on one leg and hold books, or my dad. Yeah, my dad would like take your hand and just like flick your hand. I'd just be like, man, you know what? I don't even want to be here no more. It ain't real until you pack a small bag and throw it and go
Listen,
away.
if you guys want to discipline your kids the old traditional way, send them to the motherland. Okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
But adopt, motherland experiences and like how they whip the kids. Because listen, it was all to instill fear. Okay? Because what does kings do to control a population or a group? They instill fear. So if I tell you to do this, you didn't do this, I'm gonna cut your head off. That's what they used to do back in the Dark Ages, right? In front of a whole group of people. What? Why? To instill fear. So the whippings and all that stuff was to instill fear. So when you say something like you don't fear anything, you really got to stand behind that. It's to instill fear, because when fear is involved, you being controlled, you being more at a state of mind where you're not gonna cross certain boundaries because you know if you do so, this is the consequences, and you don't want to put up with that. So it's just to instill fear. Laws and everything, well, not laws, but it's controlling. It's to control. But certain things just to instill fear.
So let me ask you: are you for when people get the cops called on them for spanking their child or whatever? Like you got situations, say. So just some white lady sees a black person disciplining their kid, and
here's the thing.
Now they want to call the cops.
Because here's the thing, there has to be a new way of teaching our kids now or disciplining them, because now the old tactics are not working because they have this stuff. They have this stuff available to them where they can call the cops. They can get the parents locked up for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I dare you to fucking smack me. I'll call the 911. You know what I'm saying? Like kids, things change. The world has changed
because of how those kids are raising. Those parents are raising their kids.
But
to
still,
even act like
but there's okay, for instance, there is a race out here who don't believe in whooping their kids, and those kids grow up to disrespect the parents. They grow up to mass murders.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it's not a situation where me personally, I don't think it needs to be purged from the black community or any community or whatever. I just think a parent needs to be able to smartly decide what kind of child I have. Maybe talk to a counselor or a therapist or something. What kind of child do I have? Do I need to discipline them with whippings? Yeah, because every
child is different.
I'm telling you. My parents could tell me to go cut the scissors, go cut the lawn with the scissors. I had to do some cruel little things. You know what I'm saying? A whipping will keep me in line more than anything else. But because I had the type of mindset, it didn't put me in I'll say this. At the most, I developed a flinch, a natural flinch, towards him. And, I'll say maybe towards high school, I got to a point to where it's like if anybody, like I got so many women, if anybody ever show they want to put harm on me, I'm already ready to lock up. Okay. So I will say whippings later in life, towards when I got to high school, I got whooped a little bit more to where I became more aggressive naturally or on the defense with people. And I've discussed that. I've had that talk with my parents, you know what I'm saying? With them telling me, you know what, we were probably too hard on you, blah, 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 whatever. But
they did that.
Yeah, no, my dad. But I still realized that, no, I still needed them. You know what I mean? I still needed them. I just really feel like I wouldn't have. Yeah.
That's really dope with your parents, though.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
I was raised.
My dad, I didn't your parents. My dad told me he should whoop me more.
Yeah, look at you. And you still going hard on against the whip.
Just a few months. Too late now.
We'll revisit this topic when Jeff has his 5-year-old.
Ain't gonna be no whooping.
Terrible. Nah, you can't do terrible too.
Ain't gonna be no whooping, man. It's gonna be an unconditional love, man.
Do that to a
Proper.
Jeff goes, yo, that artist love. I really want to see the evolution of Jeff. I need to see the evolution. Jeff is literally gonna change as a person within the next 5 years of having a kid.
For sure.
Yeah, they say kids can really change.
Oh no, he's gonna be lifting more aggressive.
Oh yeah,
putting more aggression into his workouts.
Buying that shotgun.
I'm gonna turn right into a monster, but that's just because of my kid, man.
I feel you. Nah, I mean, I love my kids. I don't even have them yet, but I will be ready. I know I'll probably won't be able to spank my daughter. Hey, wife, you do what you want to do.
I just don't think that's the proper way. I want to I'm gonna know my kids. I have to invest that time with them to actually know. Okay, you come talk to dad about anything. Let's talk. Let's go out. Let's talk. Talk to me. What's up? You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to discipline them the right way instead of disciplining with beating them. No, I don't want to beat my kids. If anybody lay hands on my kids,
because you don't want your kids to ever grow up to fear you.
Because you look at some women. Let's talk about abuse relationships, abusive relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some men are putting hands on women, and what
I don't think that's much of a comparable situation.
it's not a comparable situation, but you know, to the men, he's thinking that it's okay because I'm disciplining her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
and
that's
even
still,
worse, the
I
woman.
still don't think that's a.
But that's how.
Because
that's how this guy
it's
was
not
raised.
your job as a spouse to discipline your spouse.
But that's how you were raised.
It's people
it's
out
your
here
job
that
as
do
a
that.
parent.
Like, okay, for instance, if a boy is raised to see that his father is always beating on his mother and his mother stays, he's gonna
beat on his own girl. Yeah, and I've
Right.
seen this with my mentees. Like, I know this. But when it comes to a child, I don't think you can necessarily compare. Say that you spanking your kid is.
But
gonna
it
transfer
starts somewhere. It starts from a child.
Yeah, but.
All that stuff lines up, man. Like if this kid constantly seeing his dad whoop his mother, and she's just she's staying, she's not going anywhere, she's obeying. That's what he's gonna. That's gonna be his mindset. Like, I guarantee 90% of the time he's gonna get a woman just like his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he's gonna do the same thing his dad did.
Of course,
it passes down.
What I'm saying is that. But it sounds like you're trying to compare somebody beating on a woman to a parent disciplining their child. It's not comparable.
No. I see where you're going with that, but I'm saying, like, it's how you it just goes to how you discipline your child. How you we have relationships out here where the man. There's no such thing as 50-50. Mm-hmm. The man seems to control more. It's more like a 60-40. Mm-hmm. You know, so.
I think that's fine depending on the dynamics of the relationship.
It's not fine.
I think each person finds what their dynamics are.
I mean, like, listen, a relationship's supposed to be like both people bringing two things to the table together. You know what I'm saying? If one is shy somewhere, it is up to the person that has the higher number to kind of pour into that person to bring that person up to where they're at. But it should never be 60-40. It should never be unbalanced. A relationship should be balanced. It should be like this table right here, well balanced. If half of this is missing, it's gonna spill over. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so all right, I feel like you're getting into another conversation.
Yeah,
it
we
is.
can probably say that for the next.
That's another conversation.
We're not gonna go that far.
Okay, I'm with my kids. He's not dead that, but if we're going into that conversation,
that's another topic.
That's another. Okay.
Yeah,
that's another
topic. What? I'm gonna change the subject. All right, let's talk about some women's health real quick. Ooh. I just want to shine some light real quick. Ladies, we have a new study going out right now saying that permanent hair dye is, basically developing breast cancer. I know a lot of women, hairstylists that use permanent dye in their hair. They work with it on, wigs and stuff. We gotta be careful, but it's like, dang, it's always something.
No, you're right.
It's literally always something. So, if you are gonna use permanent hair dye, please be careful. Please use gloves. Just be careful out here with that.
That's crazy. You can connect hair dye to breast cancer.
But you know what's crazy too? It's men actually out here dyeing their hair too.
That's
so
true.
it's like
I mean.
But hey, I know guys who they'll dye their dreads.
Yeah, when I had dreads, I did dye my tips.
A cancer in men.
Yeah.
Did they connect that study or?
Well, they were just saying it's a 9%. You're 9% more likely to develop breast cancer than if you don't use permanent hair dye. So I mean, I can do more research about that, but if it's affecting, because it's affecting more black women than anything. If it's affecting black women, there's men out here who use permanent hair dye as well.
Yeah, well, they can have that.
And this study shows that black women in general are more at stake to get cancer more than white women. And there's a lot of factors behind it.
Black women, we get fibroids more than any other race. Breast cancer, we get develop more than any other race. So we really have to be careful the things that we do, the things we eat.
So let's stop there right quick. And why do you think we are more prone to certain things? What's y'all opinion on that?
If I'm gonna be honest, I feel like you know,
Even
we use
when
certain
they say we're
products.
still genetically superior, right? Like
That is true.
I want to throw that right. Even though we like black people will look at you really most of the time genetic superior amongst other races because we're closer to what humanity started out as. Why are we more susceptible to things? What do you think?
Okay, if I'm gonna be honest, this is just my theory. You can disagree or agree, but these companies know who their target is. They know who uses their products. Most black people, we have our products that we all like to use. As a little girl, I know a lot of black girls, we use Sufferate and Blue Magic and stuff like that. So when it comes to like these permanent hair dyes, there are a lot of dyes that a lot of black women prefer to use.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't surprise me that now they're saying that the permanent hair dyes are causing black women to develop cancer more than any other race.
Right.
Are they putting it in our hair products more because those are the ones that we use?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of other races, they like Revlon and stuff like that, but there's other hair dyes that black women prefer. Are they injecting it with some type of chemical into that product?
What about you, Jeff? What you think?
Well, for one thing, I would say to do your research, being knowledgeable and educated in whatever you're using on your body or on your skin, whatever it is. Like, know what's in it and know what each things are and how they can contribute to health issues. I think that's something that we kind of, in our community, we kind of like shove over to the side. If this person is using it, it looks good on them, we automatically assume that if we do it too, or we use that same product, we're gonna get the same results, and we're just gonna look just as good. So if anything, we try things with our eyes first before we really kind of like go deep and peel layers back and get the information that we need. So I would say do research, be educated in the areas of whatever these chemicals are that's being used in these products. We know that there's a lot of manufacturers out there.
Yeah.
And America, for example, they want to go as cheap as possible. Mm-hmm. So if they gotta pay somebody 50 cents to make this, or if they gotta pay $3,
cents.
Exactly. So if that means adding a little bit of this, that's gonna be really bad, toxic. They're gonna do it. So just to save money. So at the end of the day, it's a money game to them. It's not about your well-being or about your beauty or anything. So any skin cream or anything that you use in your body, make sure you do a research to actually know the facts and what's being used in these things, because last thing you want to do is use something that's going to lead to some really bad effects in your life.
Yeah, I think there's a couple reasons why black people are more prone to these things, right?
Okay.
Couple factors. For one, we discussed this, if y'all look up, when the Jews were studied, Holocaust survivor descendants, the strand in their DNA is changed, the trauma strand. So as African Americans, which I even honestly don't even like that term, I got my DNA test done, so we're gonna get that in the next month. So when you realize that, you can know, okay, this is why we're susceptible to more high blood pressure or certain mental ailments, because we do have this strand of DNA that makes us off. Also, one black people got to remember is that Europeans, started this country. You know what I mean? Like, we built it, but they set up the structure. So every product and everything that's being made is made with the European in mind first. So whatever chemicals or however they make stuff, a lot of times is going to be for their body. So for example, right, just when it comes to shampoo, I used to use Head and Shoulder shampoo all the time, but it dries my hair out crazy. But we know that's something that Europeans use most of the time. So as a black person, let me go find a black owned something. You know what I mean? If we're using the most popular products, which really are the European products, then yeah, we are going to be more prone to certain things because we're not feeding our body the nutrients that we need.
Yeah.
Like we have to operate different chemicals and minerals to work with us. Also, it's an agenda. Like, this is gonna sound super conspiracy theorish, but you gotta wonder, like, why is the health in the United States the worst in our healthcare and all health and fitness industry? You know, our education systems are even miseducated.
Yep.
So when you look at our health industry, like, and how everything is made and processed, yeah, we're gonna be successful with stuff because we really literally have the worst industry in this field. Mm-hmm. As well as, I just think it's an agenda to where they make our food like this for population control. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I want to hit on that next episode.
In the African American community, even though the human population is growing a lot faster, which there's really enough room for humans. But we'd have to deforest too much, right? But the black community, our population is stagnating though. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the human population is growing, but our community we're starting to stagnate in our population. So I think it's an agenda as far as like how things are made in the products. It's a way to like, okay, we got to control how many people that we house or that's around, because we're projected to get around 11 billion by 2070 or so.
You know what? Next episode, I want to get into a topic. Mm-hmm. I'm going to encourage y'all to watch this movie, though.
What is it?
It's called What Happened to Monday. It's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Audience, I want y'all to do it too. It's a Netflix movie called What Happened to Monday. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to tell you anything about it. I watched it. I actually got other people to watch it, and we had a whole discussion about it.
I saw that movie.
I did.
It was the women.
I did.
We're going to talk about it next episode.
I did. It's in my phone.
Okay, so look, we're going to talk about it next episode because it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the population. Yeah. There's a topic I really, really want us to hit on.
That's what we should do homework to make them come back and follow up.
Yeah, man. So look, that's y'all homework. That's our homework. We're all gonna go watch this movie. It's called What Happened to Monday. It's on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, ask your friends. Y'all borrow a lot, so there you go.
Yes.
All right. I need a men's health. Like we hit women's.
We didn't hit men's health at the beginning, like I said, or did I throw something different?
Shine some light on something for men. What y'all got for men?
What you got, Jeff?
I would say that men's health tip of the day: deload.
Okay.
Deload. I think a lot of us have so much going on daily. And it's so much that it's hard for you to see that light at the end of the tunnel in certain situations. Mm-hmm. It's hard for you to really dedicate some time to your lady or your wife or your kids, or maybe even focus at the job that you're doing. Mm-hmm. Deload. Life is not about, just taking in and just holding it there. You gotta let it out. Deload. Let go of some stuff. Whatever that may be stressing you out. And I'm telling you this as a man, because us men, we take so much in because we think to ourselves that we're supposed to be alpha and we have to be ahead of everything. But sometimes, just like it's okay for a man to cry, you have to deload. Just let some stuff out, relax a little bit, take a breather, and kind of reconstruct, kind of like start to create again. That's the health tip, for men health tip for me. Deload. You do so much already. Deload and take a step back, and then before you step back into the frame and get back to work.
Okay.
That's good, man. That's good. For my meatheads, that's outside the gym too.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I kind of wanted to go back and reflect on your quote. Brandon.
Yes.
You had a really good quote for
My
the
quote,
day.
My quote of the day. Look.
I'm just gonna do this every time you
End
talk.
of the
Hey,
day.
do it.
At the,
Alright, go on.
at the end of the day, somebody's always going through more than you, but at the same time, doing more than you. Reflection.
Alright. It's like, you know, you have to appreciate where you're at, because a lot of people be like, you know, oh, I don't have this, I don't. Enjoy where you're at, you know, but also you want to work towards being better, you know. So,
Yeah. I think that my reflection on this is that all of us have a share of problems. You know, the world don't pick and choose who is gonna send this problem to, who is gonna send that problem to. It's shared and divided equally among all of us. So which means no matter where you at, no matter what you have, there's always a problem that we're dealing with. And for you to know that and to kind of know like, okay, we all going through something, it makes it easier for you to kind of like live more. Think to yourself like, okay, well, I'm not gonna dwell on this because we're all going through something. Let me just go ahead and focus on what's important. Or it makes you appreciate things more, appreciate people more. It's not about really what you have, it's what's around you. You know what I'm saying? So you might have 50,000 problems, but you have somebody around you that loves you, or you have your kid that just gave you a warm hug, or you get a call from your mom and dad. You have all these things at your disposal. You know, like all these problems, they're just out there, and everybody's going through them. Everybody's shuffling through them. You don't just go out and just pick a problem card. Everybody's shuffling through it and going through all of it. So we all have our own problems. Just, you know, kind of like, I don't know, just kind of deal with it. You know,
So,
you got this.
So you know, that's a phrase that I personally live by. You know, at the end of the day, somebody's going through more than you, but at the same time doing more. It's a quote to self, and basically what it's telling yourself is like, look, man, I know I got a lot going on, but somebody has already gone through this somewhere and they got through this, so why can't I?
Yep.
It's what it is looking to see you have the same potential in yourself that anybody else has to do something great. You know what I mean? So it's not a comparative thing or anything like that, but it's just realizing, you know, hey, look, I have goals and I need to push past, you know, through them. Whatever my situation is, I can get through it. Somebody else has, or probably going through worse. Why shouldn't I be able to get past it? You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
So at the end of the day, somebody's always going through something more than you, but at the same time, doing more. And that makes me want to do more. You know what I mean? It makes me want to do more to know that other people are doing as many great things as I want to do. I know that there's other people that are even doing greater and going through more. That just makes me feel like,
Yes, sir.
you know what?
Let's do it.
Shut up, Brandon. Let's get to work.
Let's get to
work.
You know, so
Listen,
that's
guys,
what it is.
this was amazing times with y'all. Thank you, Mimi. Thank you, B-Shack, for laying out these foundations for our people. We hope that you guys like what we're doing and continue to tune in more. This is Excellence is an Understatement podcast.
Yes.
Please remember that. 'Cause we'll be back.
Excellence is an understatement. Nah.
Hey, you
All right. See y'all later,
you can
babes.
you could like put up the music, like let it close up with the music.
There we go.
There you go. Let it finish.
There we go. That was good.
That was really good, guys.
I like that. We was like, we were like all over the place with some parts, but I think we were finding
I like
back
how
to our.
Mimi comes in and kind of redirect us right back, and that's what we're looking for. Same thing, vice versa for each one of you guys. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that.
Dope.
So, yeah, I did notice we were like kind of all over the place. So, even though we had our good topics, we got to kind of get that structured a little bit more so we're not just everywhere.
Yeah.
We can definitely work on that, but I feel like the vibes, the main structure on like how we have the show designed is awesome. Like, I feel like it wasn't just like step by step by step. It was like authentic, real laughs, real, opinion.
Nah, it was good. What do y'all think about having?
Can we get some t-shirts made? Cause like, I want to go out here and start selling some t-shirts.
My heating press is actually gonna come in the mail.
We have to go get that.
We have a problem. The camera kind of stopped halfway, but it's okay. We have the recordings.
Okay.
Well, it died.
No, it didn't die. It just kind of stopped. It's just like kind of turned off.
Oh wow. So we'll have to work on it too.
I have majority of the stuff, but it's just.
I feel you. Yeah, at least you got the audio, Well, let's say we upload it, like the video, we do it to where the video will cut off and the audio keeps going.
Yeah, that's right.
Least, when we upload it.
Do you know what too? I was thinking about
we
do like our Facebook and stuff, we can go on Facebook Live and like actually record that too, so it can just be on there.
Oh yeah, we can be on like Instagram Live, Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Good. Why don't we think about that?
Hey, we'll get more views.
Yeah, definitely. I like that.
You know what we can do too in the future? Maybe I can put like a mirror or something behind the camera.
So we can see? I have this app where I can see what's going on. Like I can control it, but I didn't think about this.
Yeah. Well, we know now. This is the first one.
Yeah. So we did good. That was pretty good.
We should should we take a photo in our podcast setting like this?
Yeah, we can.
We take our photo like this in a setting.
Yeah. Let me use your bathroom real fast.
Oh yeah, yes, right on the left.
Okay, so let me write some of this stuff down.
Alright, let me turn off some of this power bill.
Alright. So, just to give y'all an idea what I was talking about with the movie, what happened to Monday. It kind of goes hand in hand.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not. I want us to talk about GMO.
Okay.
So, that's your homework.
Okay.
And when I look up some more topics, I'll definitely put it in a group chat so we can kind of discuss on what kind of like goes hand in hand rather than we just pick random topics. We can use something that, I'll go in like one category and we'll just,
Right, I got you.
So that way it's not like we're talking about this, we're talking about that, we're talking about this. It's like it all goes together. Yeah, so I'll work on that.